Another risk linked with the spread of a global language is the creation of a monolingual elite. In this module, we'll see how a global language, which in the present case is English, promotes this monolingual elite. Competence in English is to the advantage of the people who have this competence. And this includes not only the native English speakers, but also the people who have mastered English as a second language in different parts of the world, especially in former colonies of the British Empire. Competence in English puts the people who know English as native speakers and also as non-native speakers at an advantage. And these people use this competence in English, they manipulate their competence in English to their own advantage. For example, we see in many countries of the world, for example, Pakistan itself, many important functions are assigned to English. All good education is available in English. All good jobs are available to those who are good at English. English is considered a prerequisite for upward social mobility. So in this way, competence in English, or the people who have the competence in English, manipulate their knowledge of English to their own advantage. This certainly puts all those who do not have this competence in English or in whatever global language that we are talking about, or whatever the global language at a particular point in time is, it puts all those who lack the knowledge of this language at a disadvantage. And because a global language, for example English, is linked with upward socioeconomic mobility, those who do not have this competence are at a disadvantage, and therefore it creates a gap between the rich and the poor. Those who know English gradually become richer and richer, and those who do not know English, they keep losing different opportunities for their growth. So this highlights another danger of the spread of English, that is an increasing gap between the rich and the poor. Now, when people see that knowledge of their own languages gets them nowhere, and it is only the knowledge of English that gets them good education, good jobs, etc., they lose their motivation for their own language and also for learning other languages. So in this way, English is being promoted at the cost of other languages, not only the native languages of other users of English, but also other languages. Whenever there's a question of learning a foreign language, people show a preference for learning English to other languages. And gradually this leads to limited opportunities available for learning other languages. Naturally, when there will be nobody interested in learning other languages, nobody will teach those languages. There will be no resources available for those languages. And even if you want to learn some other language, there will be no opportunities available to you for learning that other language. The creation of this elite has also sort of caused complacency about the linguistic knowledge of this elite. So they are too satisfied with themselves. They are happy with the knowledge of that one language that they have. So they do not want to learn other languages. They think that the one language that they know, that is English, is enough for them. This also shows a disdain for other languages, a contempt for other languages, a looking down upon other languages. They believe that their own language is a language which gets them good jobs, which helps them in their socio-economic development, in their better education, etc. So they do not need any other languages, and all the other languages are a sheer waste of time. Learning other languages is a sheer waste of time. So they look at other languages with disdain. Another belief that the mother tongue English speakers has, which often causes a loss of language is this belief in the evolutionary view of the language, that the language which is the best, which is the fittest for the people of the world, will survive. And of course, it seems to be English these days. And this idea of the survival of the fittest language also favors the idea of a monolingual world. There cannot be several languages which have fit at the same time for the world. So it has got to be one language, and this idea of this evolutionary view of the language, that the language which is the fittest will gradually grow and develop and survive, also favors the idea of a monolingual world. So if we are following beliefs which favor a monolingual world, it is of course going to lead to the death of the other languages, to the loss of the languages which are considered unfit for the world, or which do not serve any purpose, which are not giving any benefit to its users. All those languages will cease to exist.